Hello YouTube, my name is Maureen and welcome to Reen Reads. Um, Kind of a shocker today. I'm going to be doing a tag video. I haven't done a tag video in months, but I literally have no books to talk about. I'm caught up on reading and reviews, but I'm currently in the middle of a book right now, so that's why I'm not going to be doing a review. Doing a tag, and this tag I saw on BooktubingAmy. So I'm just going to link her in the down box below. She's super cute and adorable, and I like her like little stickers on her TBR jar and her bookshelf. I think they're super cool. So Amy, if you see this, your stickers are awesome. Now, the tag I'm going to be doing is the How I Read tag. I'm not sure who made this tag. I can try and find out. Um, no clue. No clue who did the tag. No clue who created the tag, but here we go. I'm just going to answer the questions. So here we go. Number one. How did I find, or how do I find out about new books? Um, a number of ways. The biggest contributor to my Amazon wish list right now is BookTube. I have a bunch of channels that I'm subscribed to, and if someone does a haul video or a review of something that I think would be mildly interesting or something that's got a lot of hype around it, I will add it to my wish list and I will read it eventually. So another thing that I've been doing for a few months is I have a lot of book. I guess I follow a lot of people on Instagram that read and have different, maybe YouTube accounts or different Instagram accounts dedicated to books. So I get a lot of my book suggestions from Instagram, believe it or not. The third would be if I read an author, I will definitely look them up on Wikipedia or Amazon, and I will look at the other books they've written, and if it's an author that I've enjoyed, I will go ahead and add the rest of their books to my account or my wish list. I think the last would be sometimes in the back of books they have like conversations with the author, which are really interesting. And I've read, I think, about 2 or 3 books where the author makes their own list of books that they recommend. So I've actually used that to add to my own wish list. So because if I like the author, then I may like what they like to read, is my logic there. Also, I do take any type of like word of mouth suggestions. If someone's reading something maybe on the train or in public, doesn't be like, oh, I gotta add that to my wish list. Like, I'm crazy. I have the Amazon app on my phone, constantly adding stuff. All right, number 2 is how did you get into reading? That is a difficult question just because I can't really remember a time in my life where I didn't read. Um, I've been reading. I started to read like really early. I think I was around 2 or 3 when I was able to read on my own. And I was always ahead of the curve. I was always reading like a zillion miles before my grade level. Um, and my mom actually used to ground me. Like instead of being like, "Oh, you're in trouble, you can't watch TV," she'd be like, "Oh, you're in trouble, you can't read a book." And that was hard because, you know, books were getting in the way of like my chores and I have hiccups or something. But books were getting in the way of my chores and me doing my homework, so it was, you know, there had to be some kind of hold put on there. But now I'm super into reading, especially with BookTube. I discovered BookTube about almost a year ago, believe it or not, and that's like sparked my curiosity with reading like to the infinity power. Like I just am so into reading lately. But that's my answer for that. The number 3 is how has your taste in books changed? Um, hasn't really changed. I really just added more genres that I would consider into my list, I guess, of books that I would read. Um, I read. or I like to read a lot of fantasy now, and I was never into fantasy before, but I definitely noticed that I read a lot more fantasy. I read significantly more science fiction, or I would be more inclined to read science fiction. Um, I still read classics. I think I've always been into classics and plays and stuff. And I've also added a bit more YA, which I used to like just not touch at all. But with BookTube again, everyone's kind of opened my eyes to different YA books that are, although they're way, not to say they're beneath me, but like grade level wise, I guess I'm like above the grade level, I still really enjoy them. Like I really enjoy Sarah Dessen, specifically. Um, just books like that I'm just kind of into because they're light and they, when you've been reading some like really heavy material, they help when you want to read something a little bit more fun or a little bit more easy. Let's see. Number 4 is how often do you buy books? I think everybody's question is like everybody's answer is like too much. I buy books way too much, but I really do. I buy books a lot. There was a point where I was buying a book, at least one book every time I was going into Barnes and Noble, and that was like once or twice a week. So that's pretty bad. But now with my college coming up and I just got a car, so I'm going to be paying car insurance. Kind of have to put myself on like a book buying, not necessarily a ban, but definitely like limit myself to maybe one, you know, one regularly priced book like a month, and then the rest of my books I will buy like once I finish one. Lately, and what I've been doing for months now, I will always buy a book once I finish one. And lately, or almost all the time, 99% of the time, I buy it on Amazon used, just because I know their prices are, a little bit cheaper. So that's been helping me money wise. But to answer the question, I buy books every time I finish one, and more than that. So number 5 is how did I find booktubing? Now I know I've answered this question before in a different tag, but I originally got into YouTube and the idea of having a YouTube channel from my watching a beauty blogger that I went to high school with, and I didn't know she had a YouTube channel, and then I found out she had one, and I watched one of her videos, and one video turned into me watching every single one of her videos. Like, I was just obsessed. I'm obsessed with the idea of like making something and like having, not necessarily having followers, but like growing community and like having different friends that, and like especially people that you can connect to on like a book level, because I feel like a lot of us want to talk about books but we can't because either our other friends don't like books or our significant others don't like books as much as we do. So I think BookTube's a great way to just find at least one person that you can connect with. I feel like if you have found one person that either watches your videos or that you have, watched their videos, I feel like, BookTube's and YouTube is doing its job. So that's how I found BookTube, guys. Number 6 is what do you do when you get to an ending you don't like? You know what I really would like to do? I'd like to throw the book against the wall because, especially once you get to the end and you think you're, gonna have a really good ending, you get to the end and it's not at all what you expected. You're like, why the hell did I waste my time? Like, here, take my money back, take my book back, bye. And I usually just sit there with a look on my face exactly like this, going, what the fuck? And I'll probably say it out loud, depending on where I am. I will say, what the fuck? The last question is, how often do you take a look at the ending of a book? I try not to, because I hate spoiling myself because I feel like, I don't know, that's just like a tease, really. But I usually will look at like just the last word, which really has nothing to do with, usually the last word has nothing to do with the actual ending, but I'll like sneak and look at the last word. Not the whole sentence, just the last word. And that was it. That's the whole tag. And I'm sure I talked my face off. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this super cool tag video. Thank you, BooktubingAmy, for posting it. So yeah, that's about all I have to say. So YouTube, till we meet again.